I was very sick before, almost died, but I got better and felt like I got a second chance at life. Now, I want to start fresh, but I don't want to take care of an old lady. I helped my husband recover from being sick by donating something, but he never said thank you. Instead, he gave me a card for a divorce lawyer. It didn't really surprise me because he's been going out a lot since he got better. Now I'm the one who's sick. They say I have stomach cancer, but it's not too bad yet. I need surgery and chemotherapy. I'm really scared, and I can't believe my husband is leaving me like this. All the love and trust I had for him are gone. The toughest part is that he's the only dad our daughter Kate knows. I feel bad for her, but I'm too tired to fix things with him because I have to focus on fighting this disease. A month later, my husband called me a lot, being really aggressive, but I didn't answer. Then he surprised me by coming to my hospital room and telling me something shocking. My name is Christy Young, and I'm a 29-year-old housewife. I've been married to Mike, who's a bit older than me, for 5 years. We have a cute 5-year-old daughter named Kate. I used to work full-time even after we got married, but I quit my job when I took a break to have Kate. I wanted to take it easy and raise her, but because of money problems, I had to start working again when Kate could go to daycare. Luckily, my sister-in-law, Lisa, is the boss at an apparel company, and she hired me. Even though I'm family, I wasn't treated specially at work. The atmosphere was nice, and there were other moms, so it was easy to talk about taking care of kids and taking time off for sudden illnesses. I'm really thankful I got a job in such a good place. But it was really hard to manage work, taking care of the house, and looking after Kate. In the morning, I made breakfast and lunch for my husband, sent him off to work, took Kate to daycare, and then went to my job. After work, I picked up Kate, went shopping, did chores at home, bathed Kate, and made dinner. After I finished making food for Kate, my husband came home, so I cooked dinner for him. Even though my days were busy, my husband didn't help much with house chores or taking care of Kate. Even when Kate was sick in the morning, he didn't seem to care and would still ask for his breakfast. When I needed him to do the grocery shopping because I had to work late, he complained about being tired from work. I was tired too, but I didn't have the energy to argue, so I ended up doing everything on my own. Our lives changed suddenly when my husband was told to get a detailed health check after his company's checkup showed some bad results. He didn't want to get retested because he felt okay, but he started feeling uncomfortable with unexplained bruises and bleeding gums. It would be bad if he ignored it, and it turned out to be a serious illness. We had to think about Kate's future, so I asked him to get a thorough checkup, and it turned out he had leukemia. Why is this happening to us? He was surprised to hear a disease name he knew, but nowadays, leukemia is not a hopeless condition. Many people get better with treatments like chemotherapy and bone marrow transplants. I decided to support my husband, who was feeling really down, and stay with him during the treatment. He took a break from work and went to the hospital right away. Meanwhile, I had to handle my job, take care of the house, look after Kate, and support my husband's treatment. I got worn out before he did. The stress from being in the hospital made him angry at me even more than before. And that was one of the reasons. I knew he was upset about the situation, but honestly, I was tired from working, taking care of Kate, doing chores, and visiting the hospital in my free time. That's when Lisa, my sister-in-law, offered to help. "Why did you come live with me? I can help with the housework and take care of Kate." She was the boss at a company, and I knew she was always busy with work. She was hands-on and involved in sales, not just giving orders to others. This made it easier for the staff to share their thoughts. I knew she had a lot on her plate. "I really can't trouble you," I said. "You're busy too," Lisa said. "If you get too tired, Kate will suffer the most, right? I'll help Mike as much as I can." "You should lean on those who can help you now," Lisa said firmly, and I couldn't stop my tears. I was worried about Mike, Kate's future, and my own health. Lisa's presence was a huge relief, and her encouraging words comforted me. Mike's parents had already passed away, and Lisa lived alone in her parents' big house. I always thought it was too big for one person. I didn't want to sell it because it holds memories of my parents, but I was glad she invited us to stay there. You two can come. She warmly welcomed me and Kate. Living with Lisa was really nice. We always got along, and it felt like having a real sister. Lisa, who lived alone for a long time, was good at doing housework. She actively helped, making my life much easier than before. During that time, there was hope for Mike's treatment. I was found to be a good match to donate bone marrow for his transplant. When Mike got diagnosed with leukemia, Lisa and I got tested to be donors. Finding a matching donor is not easy, but the chances are better with siblings. We were sad when we learned that Lisa's marrow wasn't a match. But when we found out that mine could help Mike, he was really happy. I had to stay in the hospital for a few days to give bone marrow. During that time, I had to take a break from work and couldn't take care of Kate. It was tough for Lisa, but she didn't show any annoyance. Thanks a lot for helping my brother. I'll do everything I can to support you, so don't worry. Just take care of yourself now. Lisa encouraged me. I went through surgery to extract bone marrow for my husband. After the surgery, Mike had to stay in a special room to avoid infections and rest. I left the hospital a few days later, and thanks to Lisa's kindness, I took a few more days off work before going back. The stem cells transplanted into Mike seemed to be working well. After a few weeks, he moved to a regular hospital room. When I brought our daughter Kate to visit Mike, there was a nurse in the room. Mike was happy to see Kate after a long time. Mr. Young is getting better. He's still young and strong, so if he keeps improving, he might go back to work soon. Thank you very much, as always, the nurse said with a smile and left. Mike's condition got better, and he was able to leave the hospital a few months later. He still needed to rest at home, but the four of us, including Lisa, started living together in my in-laws' house. I had to stay in the hospital for a few days to give bone marrow. During that time, I had to take a break from work and couldn't take care of Kate. It was tough for Lisa, but she didn't show any annoyance. Thanks a lot for helping my brother. I'll do everything I can to support you, so don't worry. Just take care of yourself now. Lisa encouraged me. I went through surgery to extract bone marrow for my husband. After the surgery, Mike had to stay in a special room to avoid infections and rest. I left the hospital a few days later, and thanks to Lisa's kindness, I took a few more days off work before going back. The stem cells transplanted into Mike seemed to be working well. After a few weeks, he moved to a regular hospital room. When I brought our daughter Kate to visit Mike, there was a nurse in the room. Mike was happy to see Kate after a long time. Mr. Young is getting better. He's still young and strong, so if he keeps improving, he might go back to work soon. Thank you very much, as always, the nurse said with a smile and left. Mike's condition got better, and he was able to leave the hospital a few months later. He still needed to rest at home, but the four of us, including Lisa, started living together in my in-laws' house. Maybe because I pushed myself too hard, my health started getting worse. Eating became difficult, and Lisa noticed I might have lost weight. At this point, Mike had almost fully recovered and was back to work. Even though I didn't have to take care of Mike anymore, the chores and looking after Kate didn't decrease. Even when I wasn't feeling well, Mike, who had a lot of energy again, started going out alone more on his days off. He didn't seem to notice I was unwell and didn't offer to help with the chores. When I asked him where he was going and who he was with, he got mad and said, "I have a private life too." Eventually, the stress made my stomach hurt all the time, and Lisa suggested I get a full checkup. Since Mike had been really sick before, I thought it would be good to catch any issues early for Kate's sake. This time, the doctors found out I had stomach cancer. Luckily, it seemed to be slow growing, but I still needed to go to the hospital and have painful chemotherapy. When I suddenly had to go to the hospital, Kate got worried. But her dad was out, so he couldn't comfort her. Instead, Lisa, my sister-in-law, stayed with Kate so I could get ready for the hospital. While I was getting ready, Lisa took Kate out for some shopping. While I was quietly getting ready, my husband Mike came home. What's happening? Are you going on a trip? I was upset because he seemed so carefree. I have stomach cancer. I've been feeling sick, so I went for a checkup today. That's what the doctors found. I need to stay in the hospital. Hospitalized. What about the house? Are you leaving it all to my sister? I was surprised that his first worry was not about my health. Well, this is just great, huh? Let's get a divorce. I was confused and shocked by his sudden request. I had always taken care of him when he was sick. And now that I'm the one who's sick, he wants to leave me. I almost died once, but I got better, and it feels like I got a new chance at life. I want to start fresh, and I don't want to take care of an old lady. Even though I helped Mike recover by being his donor, he never said thank you. Instead, he gave me a divorce lawyer's card. You don't even wear makeup at home. I can't see you as a woman anymore. I'm busy with work, chores, and taking care of Kate. I don't have time for makeup. That's just an excuse. Plus, you have cancer now. I can't handle that. I was surprised by Mike's angry demand to sign divorce papers quickly. I was already worried about the cancer. Despite feeling frustrated and anxious, I wasn't shocked. Since Mike got better, he started going out a lot, and I felt suspicious. With this illness, all my love and trust for him disappeared. What hurt the most was that, for Kate, he was her only dad. I felt bad about making her a child of a single parent, but with the cancer battle ahead, I didn't have the energy to fix things with Mike. Now, we're just like strangers. Mike had a satisfied smile. Is it done? Don't just barge in like that. You're taking too long. Suddenly, a new young woman showed up at the door. She had bold makeup and a stylish dress. She looked beautiful, but when I looked closely, I recognized her face. Are you the nurse from Mike's hospital? It was a bit hard to tell because she wasn't in her uniform, but she was the nurse who took care of my husband. Apparently, she became his girlfriend at some point. Yes, that's me. I took care of him a lot when he was sick, more than you ever did. Mike said proudly. I was shocked by what he said. Taking care of a sick person is what nurses are supposed to do. It felt unfair to be compared to her in that way. Leave this house right now. This is my family's home. Mike said firmly. Yes, it's my husband's family home, but it's now in Lisa's name, my sister-in-law. If I divorce Mike, Lisa, and I will become strangers. It's sad to part with Mike, but it's even sadder to be separated from Lisa, who is kind, reliable, and has a good relationship with my daughter Kate. But there's nothing I can do about it. I packed my suitcase with only the important stuff. Besides getting ready for the hospital, I no longer love my husband, and I want to leave this situation as soon as possible. While I was getting ready quietly, Lisa and Kate, who had gone shopping, came back. We're home. Oh, do we have a visitor? Lisa looked surprised to see a lady she didn't know, and Kate, sticking close to Lisa, seemed confused, so I said clearly, I'm going to break up with Mike. Lisa looked just as surprised as I felt. Then, like she figured something out, she gave Kate some snacks she had just bought and told her to eat them in the other room. With only grown-ups around, Lisa stared at my husband right away. What's going on, Mike? Mike looked a bit scared when Lisa, not me, talked to him. He's leaving me to start a new life with that lady over there. Since you and I won't be family anymore, he wants me to go away. Lisa couldn't believe what I said. Christy is having a hard time and you? How selfish can you be? You're the one who should leave. Never show your face to me again. Lisa scolded Mike, who snorted and left the house. The lady looked down at me, smirked, and followed Mike. After they left, Lisa looked at me with a sorry expression. I felt bad for making her, who did nothing wrong, feel like that. Please don't be upset. You've helped me so much, Lisa, and I can't thank you enough. I felt a bit better knowing Lisa had firmly cut ties with Mike. Even if you break up with Mike, I'll always be on your side, Christy. We left the house we lived in before Mike got sick. Since Lisa told Mike to leave, he had no place to go, but he probably planned to live with that lady. Even with insurance and help, Mike might not have much money left after his serious illness. Well, it's not my concern anymore since we'll be strangers. Even though we weren't married anymore, Lisa was still helping me. I needed to go to the hospital, and I thought about leaving Kate with my parents, but I didn't know what to do about transferring her to a new kindergarten. When Lisa said, "I'll take care of her," I know Kate will be worried without her mom, and changing schools will make her even more worried. My job is stable right now. I decided to trust her. About a month after I was in the hospital, when my phone rang. It was my ex-husband Mike, and of course, I didn't answer. Even though I ignored it many times, Mike kept calling. When I told Lisa, who came to see me, she said she also got calls and ignored them. But he apparently showed up at her in-laws' house. He insisted on seeing me, but she sent him away, saying it was impossible since I was in the hospital. Don't pay attention if he says anything. It's too late for him to realize your worth now. Lisa's words made me feel stronger. After Lisa left, saying she's going home for today, Mike showed up in my hospital room. "Why are you here?" I didn't tell Mike which hospital I was in. He didn't even ask. "I went to my parents' house today. I saw my sister leaving with flowers, so I thought she might be visiting you." Apparently, he followed Lisa. Mike's persistence was scary, and I was confused about what he wanted. Then he hugged me. My illness came back. It turned out Mike's leukemia had returned. Even though remission is possible with a bone marrow transplant, it doesn't guarantee there won't be a recurrence. "So, can you be a donor again?" I was surprised by his bold request. I was fighting a serious illness, cancer, and my ex-husband who left me came back as soon as he got sick again. It felt too convenient. "I don't care. Isn't it your fault?" "What do you mean? Didn't you have someone who supported you more than I did?" Mike looked regretful when he heard me. His girlfriend broke up with him as soon as she found out about his illness. She said she could handle work, but not take care of a sick person in her personal life. "You're the only one I can rely on now." Mike begged for my help, but I told him firmly I really don't want to. "Are you going to leave me again when I'm sick? You were the one who left me first, right?" Mike didn't know what to say to my response. "And I'm talking to a lawyer about you." "A lawyer?" "Oh, right. Child support for Kate. I'll make sure you pay." "But I'm sick too." Our argument continued, and a doctor noticed the commotion and came into the room. The doctor stopped Mike, who was trying to grab me, and took him away. Mike was later handed over to the police. After being questioned, a restraining order was issued against him. Lisa came back to my room after hearing the commotion. After learning the details, she was disgusted by Mike's selfishness. I asked Lisa to testify, and after talking to my lawyer, I decided to claim compensation from Mike and his girlfriend. Mike was very hesitant, but his girlfriend agreed to pay immediately, like a severance payment. Since then, I've been slowly getting better. Lisa has been supporting me a lot, and even though Kate is still young, she's been cheering me on without being selfish. The cancer was taken out successfully, and there's no sign it spread. On the other side, Mike is still looking for a donor and seems scared every day. He managed to pay me the compensation by using up his savings, but it looks like he won't be able to afford child support for Kate. Because he can't pay child support, he's not allowed to visit, so he seems to be dealing with his illness by himself. I still have a good relationship with Lisa. After leaving the hospital, I thought I shouldn't bother her anymore, and I was thinking of moving out with Kate. But she got mad at me, saying I shouldn't think about unnecessary things. After recovering from being sick, she told me to spend freely until I saved enough money. I took advantage of her kindness and lived with her for a while, with the three of us. Since Kate really likes Lisa, we eventually decided to rent an apartment nearby. Even after saving enough money, we go back and forth between each other's houses. And now we have a relationship like best friends. I went through a tough breakup with Mike and got sick. But there are still people like Lisa who have been there for me all along. I might make Kate feel lonely, but I hope she grows up to be a strong, kind, and fair woman like Lisa. And I want us to continue getting along well in the future.